ਐਨਡੀਪੀ ਆਗੂ ਜਗਮੀਤ ਸਿੰਘ ਨੇ ਆਪਣੀ ਪਾਰਟੀ ਦੇ ਕਾਕਸ ਦੀ ਹਫ਼ਤਾਵਾਰੀ ਮੀਟਿੰਗ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਪਾਰਲੀਮੈਂਟ ਹਿੱਲ ਤੇ ਪੱਤਰਕਾਰਾਂ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕੀਤੀ। ਜਗਮੀਤ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਬੈਂਕ ਆਫ ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਦੇ ਤਾਜ਼ਾ ਦਰਾਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਵਾਧੇ, ਉੱਚ ਮਹਿੰਗਾਈ ਦੇ ਵਿਚਕਾਰ ਕੈਨੇਡੀਅਨਾਂ ਲਈ ਵਧੀ ਹੋਈ ਸਹਾਇਤਾ ਦੀ ਲੋੜ ਅਤੇ ontario ਦੇ ਪ੍ਰੀਮੀਅਰ ਡਗ ਫੋਰਡ ਦੁਆਰਾ ਐਮਰਜੈਂਸੀ ਦੀ ਫੈਡਰਲ ਸਰਕਾਰ ਦੀ ਵਰਤੋਂ ਦੀ ਜਾਂਚ ਕਰਨ ਵਾਲੀ ਜਾਂਚ ਵਿੱਚ ਗਵਾਹੀ ਦੇਣ ਤੋਂ ਇਨਕਾਰ ਕਰਨ ਬਾਰੇ ਆਪਣੀਆਂ ਚਿੰਤਾਵਾਂ ਤੇ ਟਿੱਪਣੀ ਕੀਤੀ ਹੈ।
Interest rates today. And what I want to highlight is the impact that's having on people. Right now, there are so many Canadians across this country looking at their mortgages thinking, with this increase, will I be able to afford to keep my home? Will I be able to pay my bills? That's a real risk and real fear. And that's why we're impressing upon the government the need to have a plan to deal with the inflation that doesn't rest solely on the shoulders of the Bank of Canada, but also a plan to put in place supports for Canadians that are going to feel the crush of the combination of the increased cost of living and increased interest rates. And finally, if increased interest rates continue, and as economists predict that there will be a recession, we need a plan in place to protect workers. So these are things that we're calling for, and we'll be asking questions on this in the House today. Yes, we've laid out a couple of things that we want to see. First of all, a reform to EI. If there's going to be a recession, that means Canadians will lose their jobs. And right now, the current EI only covers 40% of Canadians. In the face of what might be hundreds of thousands of Canadians losing their jobs in what economists are predicting as a recession, we need a plan to make sure all Canadians are protected with EI. We've also said to help out people with the cost of energy and other costs, that we need to put in place a windfall tax like Europe, like the European Union, like Spain, and like the United Kingdom have done, and use the excess profits of these wealthy corporations to reinvest in ways to help people out and support people in this time. So we've laid out a number of things that we're calling for, but we want to make it really clear that the increase in interest rates are going to mean a very serious impact on Canadians, and we need to see a plan that includes some of the elements that we've said to address these problems. Well, what our concern is, when we look at the mechanism used by the Bank of Canada to increase interest rates, we know that that's had an impact on housing, for example. Hasn't made it affordable, but we're seeing housing costs come down somewhat. But increasing interest rates has no direct correlation with the cost of food or the cost of gasoline. All additional elements of inflation. When we look at the cost of living that's gone up, inflation has hit in a variety of ways. But how would the Bank of Canada increasing interest rates help Canadians that are struggling with the cost of food or the cost of gasoline? So we want to make it clear that it's the responsibility of the Government of Canada to also step in and provide relief and support in the face of inflation. That's why our call to look at the prices of food, and to have the Competition Bureau also now announce that they're going to be looking at the price of food. That's a concrete measure to deal with one of those inflationary pressures. We've also been saying that corporate greed is contributing to the increased cost of everything. How would interest rates impact corporate greed, which is becoming more and more clear as a contributor to the rising cost of living?